Hey, what's up, you guys? I'm Jaquan,
I'm Jasmine.
and welcome to the Film Spill.
So today, guys, we're going to be talking about Utopia. This is a drama series on Amazon Prime Video, and here is the summary. A group of young adults get a hold of a cult underground graphic novel, which burdens them with the dangerous task of saving the world.
So, this was a very interesting series. We found out after we watched the series that it was a remake or reboot from a UK series, and we recently just said we may have to go ahead and watch the actual UK series because we know this series was not renewed by Amazon, so it only have one season. So, the rating I gave this show was I was stuck between a 3.5 and a 4, but I think I'm gonna just fall on a 4. I think it was very interesting. I really love how it was very secretive. It was a bunch of twists and turns, and it really had you thinking, could this actually be possible? Like, could this be true, right? Even in our own world. So that gets me to go into my pros and my cons. So my very first pro, it was very, very interesting, right? So I think when we talk about how this show came out during a pandemic and it was basically about, secrets of them trying to, quote unquote get answers about a new pandemic that basically could be coming in. So I thought that was very interesting. And it was also very scary. So that's another, I guess you can say, you can call it a con slash pro, but it was very scary because it made you think, were they actually trying to tell us something about the coronavirus through this series, a global pandemic, how they push for a vaccine. It makes you wonder what's really in those vaccines.
Yeah.
So, once again, interesting but low key scary because it's like, that's a weird time to be. Yeah, it's a weird time to be releasing a type of series like that in the middle of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was crazy. The next part I have was the visual style, the graphic novel. I thought it was very interesting. I really love how they depicted Mr. Rabbit as well as Jessica Hyde and her father. Even the certain diseases and stuff that they were creating in the novel. I thought that everything was very, very illustrated well. I really like how the group found out that Grant Bishop was actually a kid because the whole time they was just like, is he wealthy? Because he always talked about, oh, I'm bringing the Porsche, and but really he turned out to just to be a kid. So that was interesting as well. We both talked about it. Wilson Wilson, that name is just so classic and cool. So Wilson Wilson, I really enjoyed that name. Another pro. I'm a big fan of comic books and mysteries, and I like how they combine the two. Right, so it was like the graphic novel apparently, like she stated, basically predicts certain global pandemics. So Dystopia predicted pandemics, and Utopia basically was like the cure or the answers to how you can kind of defeat those the pandemics or get the cure for those diseases. I really enjoy how it started off very gory. I love films that are gory, and it was just kind of gory throughout this whole series. We talked about how Arby, him and his friend, they went in and basically killed the people who had the comic book in the very beginning, and then they went around killing everybody who name was contacted on that list, one by one, and they were just gruesome.
Taking people out.
Yes, just like a thing that needed to be done, and then we also found out how he scooped out Wilson's eye, so with a spoon. So once again, Arby was just a savage. This man just was just crazy. Another pro was the twists and turns, especially when, you found out during the end that Dr. Christie and the Homeland Security woman, Milda, they're both are Mr. Rabbit. That was kind of like a real big twist that I'm like, what? The whole time everyone is looking at Dr. Christie because, he just looked like the villain, like it was just him. But to find out it was someone else on, with him as well, that was just, once again, interesting. I really like how crazy it was when we found out that Michael Stern's wife was actually placed, with him, from Harvest. That was crazy too, to keep tabs on him.
Yes, and they were together for a long time.
Years. It wasn't.
Like,
I think
they got married and everything.
Yeah, it was some years. It was some years. So that was crazy. Like, you are very dedicated.
Yeah.
Dedicated. Like,
Yeah, they planted her.
that was crazy. I like how crazy it was when we finding out that Jessica Hyde's dad was still alive.
Yeah.
And he was working on another comic as well, or another novel. So that was interesting. And I like how towards the end, Arby, even though he was crazy, he ends up kind of teaming up or helping Jessica. So that was very interesting too. Not too many cons. The first con was, of course, I was mad that they did not renew it. Like I said, I really enjoyed this series. We both did, and it would have been cool to kind of see these characters come back. Knowing that, cool, we may have to go watch the UK series, but it would just be interesting to see these type of characters come back because we fell in love with them. I thought they were really dope. The last con was, and once again, this is more so just personal. You know, when Arby and Rod kills Wilson's family, that was very sad.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, the man was just savage. But yeah, so those are my pros and my cons, and I give this series a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, guys. So pretty much, I give this series a 4 out of 5 as well. Like he said, it was really good. I was really sucked in after that first episode. Now, when I think he read the description, it didn't look that great, but after we watched that first episode, I was sucked in, and it's just crazy how. Like he said, it was like a couple. They found this comic book. They seen it was worth a bunch of money, so they tried to sell it. And like basically, the true believers, like he said, believe that it was cures and answers in it. And when the assassins came, that's when it was just so crazy. Like people are like assassins are trying to get this comic book.
Yeah.
So it was just crazy. Like you talked about Wilson. It was cool how he lived his life like untraceable and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was really cool. It was pretty much just like a lot of action, drama, twists and turns. It was gory, but it was also comedy. So it's like it had a little bit of everything, but it was really crazy in action and gory mainly. Jessica Hyde, when she came in, it was crazy. And she was supposedly like a test subject for her dad. He tested a bunch of vaccines on her, and there were like tons of other kids too who were like experimented on and trained to be assassins. And like he said, it was nice to know like he was supposedly alive at the end. The funny part was when they went their plan at the end was the group of people was to go to the vaccine warehouse and destroy all the vaccines and the original virus, but it was so many of them. They were in this warehouse. It was like a million boxes of vaccines. They're like, how are we? They were trying to like take them one by one. It's like, how are we gonna do this? So that was like a funny part. And then Wilson had stayed behind with him, and he was trying to get him to confess on video and do all this other stuff and kill him, but stage it as a suicide. There was just a lot going on, but he didn't end up doing that. Like he said, Arby's character was really crazy. Like his assassin character was just very crazy. And like he said, their main goal was for everybody to get the vaccine because it's supposed to sterilize you. They weren't going to tell you that it sterilizes you, but it's supposed to sterilize you for 3 generations because they was trying to solve the problem of overpopulation. And then it was something about some twin girls and stuff. That part was crazy.
Oh yeah, the twin girls.
The twin girls.
Yeah.
Like they was really selling it hard, basically.
Yes. And then what the other part of their plan was Milda, where she was kind of she was trying to create like a hive mind or something. So you had Dr. Christie, who he was speaking more so from the standpoint of everyone being sterile, but Milda, she basically wanted all the humans to kind of have a hive mind. So you had like two kind of like things. They both weren't kind of doing the same exact thing as far as their plans, both of the quote unquote Mr. Rabbits. But yeah, crazy, both of them.
But yeah, I would have loved another season. It was really, really good, even though it got canceled. But like he said, we heard the original version was way better. So we definitely want to watch that. But all in all, it was really, really good, guys. We definitely recommend this series. We give it a 4 out of 5.
For sure. So just like always, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment. You guys have a good one.